Hey, DenaliDownSouth here, and I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to attempt to create a solar still. I've never made a solar still before, and I'm going to make a new design, or a new design to me. This will be a portable solar still that is still durable. First thing we're going to do is work on the lid. So, to do that, I've got these rare earth magnets. These are super strong. This is the lid and collection. And somebody decides to mow the lawn right in the middle of my video. Great. Oh my goodness. These things are strong. Okay, so my theory is this goes here to help drip the water down. Okay, I didn't expect this. This actually has a little cup in the bottom, so I don't need that. Because this is not open-ended, I'm going to drill this out because I want the water to run through it. And the battery's almost dead. Again, different drill with an actual charged battery. Probably should use a smaller bit to start with. Let's do that. Smaller bit. There we go. Now let's see if we can drill this out a little better. There we go. Now, that hole's drilled out. Also helps if you have it turned the right way to rotate. All right. Now, these magnets are super strong. So it's hard to get them apart if they stick together with anything. So, you can place one magnet on each side at the corners, so they will stick together. This way, you don't actually have to glue this piece to the board, or to this to the lid. So look at that. That's the easy part. What is the collection, or the container? The reservoir here is where the dirty water will sit. first thing I'm going to do is take some sandpaper, stuff this all up. Take a drop of this Gorilla Glue, put it in the middle. Take another earth magnet, I'm just going to set it there, right in the middle. That's the only glue we need for this whole project, is that right there. Okay. As that dries, I'm going to scuff up 2/3 of each side and the back side, but leaving the front side and the lid clear. That is so I want to get as much light in as possible on those sides. And this isn't a super aggressive scuffing. This is just enough to where paint will adhere. You can use whatever grit of sandpaper you want. Going to go ahead tape off the sections I want protected. Yeah, everything doesn't have to be perfect. This is a down and dirty idea. Pretty good. Now I'm going to take this black spray paint, shake it real good. I'm going to paint all the areas that I scuffed up. Yeah, everything doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna let that dry for a while. So that's painted black. This stays clear. Front stays clear. Part of the sides stay clear. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry a few days before taking out and testing it. The purpose of a solar still is to take contaminated water, heat it up through the power of the sun, basically evaporate it in a closed container, and then have it drip down into a collection device. And so that water that drips down will then be free of the contaminants. The reason why it's clear is so the heat and energy from the sun can get inside, and the reason why part of it is black is so it can heat up hotter. But you don't want it all black because you actually want some of that energy to get inside, but you don't want it all clear because you still want it to be able to raise that temperature some. So in a few days we are going to give this a test. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is glue one of these rare earth magnets to the outside of this little trash can, or as I like to call it, the collections bin. Now, the purpose of the rare magnets, first, the one on the bottom of the main tub on the underside, is because there's a magnet that's going to be sitting in here. So when there's water in the main tub, this won't be floating around. I should have held that on there. So this won't be floating around in the water. Again, the magnet in the bottom of this tub here will line up with this magnet, so this doesn't go floating around when there's water inside of this. The reason why, darn it, I'm trying to secure a magnet to the outside of this, so when you go and you pour this into your canteen or any type of collection container, is if it's metal, you don't want the magnet that's inside of here to fall into your canteen if it's metal, because you're never going to get it out that way. Or, you don't want to be sticking your dirty hands into your fresh water that you just collected. This is probably an easier way to let the magnet sit and cure with the glue, is just to let it sit like this. With the magnet that's on the inside, holding it to the washer, so it holds that on top. Hey, good morning. So we are going to give this thing a trial run and see how it does. It's supposed to be sunny today with maybe an occasional cloud, but sunny most of the day and 95 degrees. So
we'll see how this goes. Also, I was just thinking on the collections device, you don't necessarily need a magnet on the outside or one on the inside. If you could just have a piece of metal on the inside, all you really need to do is just have something to stick to catch for the magnet on the bottom side. That's all you really need. So I've got this 5-gallon bucket of water that I'm gonna pour in here to use, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, well, 5 gallons is a little much. The magnet's not strong enough to overcome the buoyancy of this. So I'm going to pour out a little bit of water so the magnet will catch. Okay, so a temporary solution to the buoyancy problem, which I did not think about when setting this up, is I just threw a weight in there to hold it down. I don't like that solution, but that's something I got to do just to figure it out until now. So I don't know. I'll figure out the rest later. I want a proof of concept for the rest. Hopefully this will work out now. So just seal her up. It's 6 a.m. I'll come back at 6 p.m. and see how much water I have in there. Oh, also I put more water in there from what I dumped out. We'll see how it goes. There's of course a bunch of different tubs you can get. There's some with just the locks on the sides there, just some of the locks there. All those though I could slip my fingers in, so I didn't think those would make a good seal. I did finally find this one that had all those locks around, so that makes a good seal. So I went for this one that I found. It took a lot of searching to finally find this one. So here we are, 6 a.m. We'll be back at 6 p.m. See how much water we got collected. So it's just after 1 o'clock. I don't know what happened here. About an hour ago it was fine, and somehow that fell down. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So I'm going to have to rethink my plan. That had a 15-pound weight in it too. Now the weight was of course standing up, so somehow that got off balance and tipped it over, I guess. So I don't know, I'm going to find a way to, I don't know, redo that, find a bin to put in there to collect the water that, I don't know, it doesn't have as much buoyancy, I guess, or I don't know, or find a small, dense weight to put in there to hold it down better. I don't know. I'll have to go back to the drawing board, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna get a partials day experiment with an ammo can, and then we'll repeat the full day experiment tomorrow with the full thing. So we'll see how this goes. So not quite how I want to do it, but it'll have to do. All right, testing day 1 at 6 o'clock. Let's see how it did at the second run after, well, I guess half a day. Let's see if it collected anything. Well, not half a day, I guess it was only like 5 hours. Let's see if I got anything in there. No, it might be too much water. Also, it's only half a day, or like 5 hours, so as you can see, got collection or condensation up top. So I don't know. I had thought originally when doing this to somehow use like a heat gun to press something down in the middle to create a cone, but I was also afraid that when using heat that I would like rip it. I don't know, so I'll just try again tomorrow with a full day. Also, my concern is maybe there's too much water in there, so it's just not heating up enough. So I'll give it a full day tomorrow. If that doesn't collect anything, then I'll try it again with less water to see if that does it. Hey, 6 p.m. on the second day. Let's see how she does. Well, okay, yeah, just a little bit of water, but not enough to do anything to survive off of. I mean, my theory was that, of course, the water, evaporates up, collects on the cone and drips down, but apparently it's not working in this case. There's a lot collecting on the lid though, so this idea did not work. So I think I'm gonna go try again, but what I'm gonna do is try to take a heat gun and somehow make this kind of caved in to a point to where then all the water, when it rises up, it collects and just flows down. That should work. Then that's usually how these solar stills work. It's just trying to avoid that because I didn't want to create any cracks or have the lid split when I did that. So and didn't want to jeopardize the seal around. So but I guess that's what I'm going to try to do, and then come back to this in a few days or so whenever I get that done. Yeah, it seems the still itself is working with generating the water, bringing it up, but it's the collecting it, bringing it all back together, that's the issue. So yep, just gotta keep trying. We'll hopefully figure this out.
Okay, well, that did not work, so I'm going to attempt to use a heat gun to create an impression. I've never used a heat gun before, and it'll be pretty obvious that I've never used one before, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to just gently try to create an impression so the water will drip down. I don't know how much heat this will take. Probably should take off my silicone ring here so I don't melt that to my finger. That'd be bad. I'm just going to use this baseball bat to try to create that impression. I thought about using a weight to maybe create that impression, but along with the heat gun, but then I didn't want it to rip, because I know when this impression is created, it weakens the plastic structure. Maybe you can use a hairdryer for this, I don't know. All I know is I have to be very slow and gentle about this. Ooh. Turn up the heat a little bit. Do is just create this curvature towards the middle. The slope. Because that cone didn't work right, so if we create just a natural slope, it's starting to get sticky, so I'll back down the heat a little bit. Work into plastic. Okay. Oh, that's still mighty warm. Apply this pressure as it cools down. So hopefully it'll keep shape. It's still very warm. Again, though, you don't want to apply too much pressure when it's warm because you don't want to rip through it. Sorry about that lawnmower. So, okay, I don't think I have enough of a dimple. So we'll try it some more. funny as this cools off, I can feel the plastic flex. So I think that might be okay, but now I'm gonna work around the edges a little bit to give it a little more, just a little more give. While still applying pressure in the middle. And the pressure I'm applying in the middle is not like super pushing hard, because again, I don't want to rip anything. And my heat's not too high because I don't want to melt or burn anything. It's about a medium heat. I left the latches on because I don't want it to lose its shape or sealing ability. Let it cool down. Hopefully that's enough. And we'll see after it cools down in a minute. Alright, so it's cool enough to the touch now, still a little warm, but couldn't find any marbles, so it seems I lost my marbles, but I think there's enough of a curve to it. Let's see. It rolls to the middle. Towards the middle at least, on every corner. So the fact that it rolls towards the middle, I think that's a good sign that I got a curvature in there. So we will give this another 12-hour test tomorrow.
Alright, so here we are, about 7 a.m. About to try the modified lid. I put the ammo can in there because the original, trash can collection device won't work with the magnets right now because it's just too buoyant. So the ammo can tends to be what's working right now until I can figure out the buoyancy problem. So I got about, as I said, about two, if I didn't say it, about 2 gallons of water in there, and it's about 7 a.m. so we'll seal it up and check on it about noon and then about 7 p.m. and see how we did. I just swapped places where the lid of the ammo can was, so there we go. We'll see in a few hours and see how this divot does. Looks to be above the can, so hopefully this improves things. Alright, so it's noon. We're gonna go check this. The shadows just moved over off of the still here probably about 15 minutes ago, so okay, so there's not really much, actually nothing collected at all. It's just starting to condensate there, so we'll check it in about 7 hours to see what we have after a full 12 hours. So as I said, the shadows just moved off of it, so didn't really get as much sun as I thought. I guess I should have had it to the west a lot earlier, but I just put it in the center of the yard. So I guess he didn't get a full 12 hours of sun but so I guess I'll get 7 hours of sun and we'll just see how it does. 7 o'clock. Let's see how we did. By the condensation up here, I don't know. I mean, it condensates, so we know that. It's just the collection we have a problem with. Still nothing. Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. I'll try again tomorrow, but I'm just gonna put a weight on here and just see if that helps. It's very disappointing. Alright, so I moved it over. It's the next day. Moved it over so I can get more sun. And I'm gonna put this weight in the middle of it. So now it's got more, even though it was already indented, it's got more of an indent now, and we'll see if that does anything. And if not, well, I don't know, but we'll see. All right, noon. Let's see if it's looking any better. Well, we've got our condensation again, but I don't know. I can't tell if it's, well, looks like maybe there was some streaking, a little bit, maybe. There might be a little bit of streaking. I guess we'll see come 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. This didn't work. I'll be upset, and I have one more trick up my sleeve. At least this is a positive sign. Well, just drippings. So, it's not enough of a curvature even with the weight. I mean, there's more running off of this than there was collected. So, what I'm going to do now then is I'm just going to cut this out, but leave the edges here, and I'm going to get a clear plastic and put that on there, and then just do like they do with like a rock, little rock in the middle, and just have the plastic solar still for the lid, and see how that does. And that'll be my last attempt. So this will be my final attempt. I'm going to make a cut in the top here, bigger than my fist, so I can get my hand in, but enough to still, or small enough to keep the integrity of the box. So we shall see. This is strong. There we go. Wow. There we go. This is strong plastic. I guess that's why I had a tough time with the heat gun. Well, even the scissors don't like, well, maybe the scissors will be okay. The scissors seem a little more safer than that knife.
ruining these scissors. Okay. So next, take this off. Grab a heavyweight clear shower curtain. Place this back on. Cuts around. So the latches will go up. This will be tougher than the saran wrap that a lot of people use on their solar stills. If you notice the latch is missing there, that's what I think I talked about. I accidentally broke that. Okay. Now let's unlatch this. Pull that in. Now we'll have more of a point. We can lock it up. I can put a little rock in there, and that should go better. So we'll try this out in the morning.
All right, it's about 7 a.m. for the final test with the cutout in plastic this time. Already put the water in there, so we'll see. I mowed the lawn yesterday, so there's some grass clippings. So, okay, got the rock to keep it down, and check back at noon, and then at 7. See how it goes. Okay, here we go again. See if it's looking better. I don't have any condensate yet. Starting to, looks a little bit on the side, but nothing on the top. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I have left this out here 3 full days, and now it's the morning of the 4th day. So I'm gonna see how this is done. And this is kind of a last ditch effort. As you can see, I mean, there's been some water running down. So, I mean, hopefully it's done something. I'm just wondering if it just hasn't been efficient because it's not buried in the ground. As soon as I take that off, it starts running because it's got disturbed. Okay, so got a little bit of water. That's Not a whole lot of water. I'll go measure it. Okay, so I went ahead and measured it. It's about, what, just under 8 ounces. So 8 ounces, or just over 3/4 of a cup. Oh, I suppose you all will probably want to see what the water looks like outside of the container, so I kind of forgot about that part. So here we go. Clear. Except for the cup's a little cloudy in itself, but not bad. That's actually just the cup, or glass, sorry. Just tastes like, I guess, distilled water. How distilled water tastes. If it does have a taste. So it's just kind of there. Actually, I guess it does have a little bit of a taste from the plastic, or the ammo box. So it's a little funky, but that's just because that's just the container I grabbed. It wasn't, as I said before, my original container to collect it in, but just what I did, just to have something, but wasn't my original idea, so it'll work in a pinch. So is it a viable means of getting water? Maybe, but I mean, yeah. So will it work? Yes. Is it the best way? Probably not. So that thing's working, just slowly. I don't know what could make it work better. Maybe if it was buried in the ground, which I'm not going to dig a hole in my yard right now, considering things, haven't hit the fan. So not going to do that. I probably collect rainwater before I start digging holes in the ground for that to distill. Maybe it's just too much water in there and it's just having a hard time, condensating it up, evaporating it maybe. I don't know. So let me know what you think any improvements could be on that to help it condensate and distill faster. Like, share, subscribe.